Ouch. Greetings, Commanders. Welcome to Frameshift Live, number 24. We're here. We almost weren't.
We made it. We weren't last week. No. But thank you very much. Adam is back, everyone.
Adam's back.
Adam is back. So if we can have a steady stream of 07s, first and foremost that Adam is alive and well. So thank you very much for getting well for this show, Adam.
Thank you for getting well for this show.
Specifically for this show and for no other reason. Look at that love for Adam in the chat.
Really
thank you.
Missed him.
Yeah, we have missed him.
And also we missed you.
We have, yes. It's great feedback.
Yeah, we were just saying today that, I don't know, ending the day, seeing you lot chatting about Elite, all the exciting things to come, all the exciting things that have sort of happened, because we are almost in February.
Yeah. It's strange, isn't it? Because, I mean, I don't know. We've been doing other stuff during the day, but we were really looking forward to this stream because it's sort of like seeing friends again. It's not, this stream isn't work for us. This is like, hey, we're meeting our friends again, so it's going to be cool.
It's true. Yeah, we have been a little bit quiet, haven't we? You and I, a little bit heads down and everything. But yeah, like you say,
it's good to be back.
This is nice to be back.
Yeah.
So let's do the usual, shall we? Should we say hi?
Hello. Yes. 07 to me. Well, we've got a big screen here. Adam's, he's not only just come back to work, he's put gadgets in the studio, chat. We've got a big screen, we can see chat. Yeah. So, Sally, do you want to say hello to a few people?
Yes, I do. I'm going to use this one, though.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
I don't trust my eyes at this time of day. Mr. Fly, Face Guy, Stormy, UK, Heather, Overkill. I'm doing much better this week. Beetle, 6666. Amiga Bart, Psychic's here, L Demon Knight, Arthur's here.
I'm here. Yeah, I saw Jonesy the film, Alec Turner on YouTube. Obviously the mods are in there. So Ozzy, you're in there from the mods. Thank you, Commander Nexus, Heather G, of course, JN Trax, Commander Grandall, KSP Drago, Dave Will Walk, Commander Red Both, Evo Flash, Atomic Fault. I'm losing it. There we go. There's a lot of people in there, but. Big love to all of you, 07. Thanks so much for joining us for our first stream of the year.
And the last one was the Christmas special.
It was. So, hope you had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. Although it's pretty much February now, isn't it? So, sorry.
But yeah, I hope you. But anyway.
Adam's fault for getting sick, not ours.
This is it. No, that's right. But yeah, we've got a whole bunch to share with you today. There are some exciting things happening at the start of next week that we'll delve into a little bit. I'm just trying to summarise what we're going to be looking at. But before that, as well, Twitch drops.
Yes. So obviously, if you're, I'm sure a lot of you aren't. But if you're new to the show, obviously this is Frameshift Live. It's normally our regular bi-weekly show. We're now going bi-weekly from this point onwards. So we'll be in 2 weeks to the next show. So we cover all the things in the game. So it'll be community news, regular news, game news, all that sort of good stuff. Any stuff that you guys show us, we'll try and share as well. We also provide you with some awesome stuff like Twitch drops.
The purple Twitch drops that I never read out because I'm too scared. But
you can do it. I trust you to do this. Or do you want me to try and do it?
Well, the thing is, I'll never get good at it if I don't actually do it, I suppose.
That's a very good point,
So you can earn a number of Twitch drops just by tuning into these Elite Dangerous streams. The ones that are ever present, right? And
yes, like a welcome pack.
Saying that, welcome pack are the purple Twitch drops, which you will get, for example, for 30 minutes of your viewing time, you will get the Ancestral Tattoo Pack, 60 minutes, Purple Flight Suit, 120 minutes, or
2 hours.
2 hours. Purple SRV and Fighters, 180 minutes, Purple Weapon and Engine Colours and Passenger Nameplate Pack, 240 minutes. Adam's telling me that this might be wrong.
Stand by, chat.
Basically, I tell you
what. It's 2 hours for everything,
right? I tell you what. If you stick with us for the whole 2 hours, you get some cool stuff, and it's purple.
The purple stuff you get all the time. So the only thing about the purple stuff is it's linked to the Twitch, actual standard Twitch campaign timeline, which means 28 days from initially starting to ending. So
it's the reason I don't do this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Look, listen, you've watched Bruce. Bruce never, ever gets this right.
No,
ever.
I think it's like a...
It's a curse.
It's a thing that you have to go through.
It's like a tour of duty. You have to do it. You have to do it. But essentially, it's a 28-day timeline. So this one will be coming to an end pretty soon. So you probably won't get all of the Twitch drops on today's show. Although if we stretch out this intro any longer, you might do.
Yeah.
So basically, you earn the purple Twitch drops every single 28 days. We start them again. If you don't reach the full time limits, you don't reach the full 2 hours, you won't get it all. And again, it resets. That's not down to us, it's down to Twitch. However, what we can control is the Twitch drops we give you seasonally.
Yes, which I can absolutely confidently tell you about. So we have some brand new winter paint jobs, 2 of them actually for the stream, which we're about to show you now. They're the Blizzard Ice. This one's the Anaconda. Very beautiful, very blue. And we also have this for the Asp Explorer.
I really like it on the Asp. I really, really like the paint job. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I had to say that really slowly then. I said Asp. I really like it on the Asp. Sally, we started the year and we said we wouldn't do innuendo, all right?
I froze then. I corpsed ever so slightly. Yeah, so for these ones, you just have, this is the half an hour, I believe, isn't it, Adam? And then the hour? No.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, really short ones. Doing a great job. Welcome back, everybody.
Basically, we want to make sure you get these ones. So at this point, we're 12 minutes in, so you should be 3 minutes away from earning yourself these 2 paint jobs.
Yeah.
Basically,
Putting you
you're
through
welcome.
all this pain and you get
You're
all
welcome.
this free stuff. So.
But there's more, because we're not just doing the
but
ones
wait,
on the show.
There's more.
Do you want to do the partner Twitch drops ones as well?
May as well make a hash of this one too. These are, so we have the Elite Dangerous Partner Programme, and just for tuning in to some of our Elite Dangerous partners, up until the 31st, I believe, of this month, you will get the Blizzard Evergreen, which are these ones here.
These are cool.
Evergreen, oh please let this be right. Stream, you watch for 30 minutes, and then an additional hour, and then a further hour and 30 for, for the Asp Explorer to complete the set. The Cobra is actually a very special one because this one is a drop that will be activated for anybody who is streaming Elite Dangerous, whether you are a partner or whether you are not. If you are streaming Elite Dangerous,
you can activate that drop.
Yeah. Blizzard Evergreen is going to be.
Yeah, so I mean, and a huge shout out there to the influencer team for getting that one across the line. We always often listen for feedback on this sort of stuff, and it's one of the things that was directly fed back from our previous campaigns is that you wanted more access to these drops. So anyone that's streaming will have access to the Cobra. Just need to activate it. Again, at the end of the Elite Partnership Program, we often get asked about how to join it. Well, there's the partner portal. Just get your P's in order, which you can go through, of course, and we'll be looking at. Recruiting into Elite Partner Program at the end of Feb.
Yes.
So have a look through there. So I think there's some criteria stuff on there to have a look through.
Yep.
But please take a look through. There is a lot of applicants, but please take a little look-see and see if it's something you might be interested in doing.
Lovely. I think that is all the Twitch drops, actually.
Yes, but so obviously to be eligible for your Twitch drop, so please head over to https://twitch.frontierstore.net/elite and link your Twitch and Frontier accounts to make sure it's the same one you used to play Elite, obviously. You'll begin making progress towards the drops automatically after entering the first. Right. One thing to note, these are for live only, so Elite Dangerous live only.
4.0 live.
Okay.
That's it. Good. So, nitty gritty. Game news section. Should we go into the game news?
I will. Yes. Do you want to start talking about the interim update we've been mentioning?
Oh, okay. Good. So this week we announced the date for the expected interim January update, which we mentioned at the end of last year, that we were going to cover off some issues that were present since update 14, that were very prominent in the community, and it's titled 14.02 and it's coming to you on Monday.
Super exciting title, we know.
Yes.
But it is coming on Monday.
Yeah.
Unless something major happens or it's development, so things can change. But Monday is what we're aiming for. So we'll have some full details for patch notes. I'm sure there'll be the usual Sally notes. We'll pre-follow. But
they'll come in. We do owe you obviously the downtime schedules and the release schedules.
Yep.
We will, as soon as we have that, we'll let you know. We did release a couple of snippets of what may be included.
Yep.
Well, maybe will be included in the update.
Let's go off to you.
Do you want more actions taken against Stalgoids will further contribute to the pushback bar. Improvements made to the UI, specifically giving commanders better guidance on how to impact said pushback bar. So, because we know we've had a lot of feedback since update 14, and obviously the new the new bits around.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Highwake
obviously the
wall.
galaxy's at war, and we want you to feel like you have got a little bit more guidance. And we'll come on to the next part in a moment when we talk about the Thargoid war feedback. We know that obviously this is, and to be fair, no one's ever attempted what these crazy devs are doing at the minute, which is a galactic scale simulated war. So we are learning some of this, so we are asking for feedback, but some of this is just to help guide some of our players that are wanting to do some more focused sort of attacks and defence missions against the Thargoids.
But yeah, not only that, there are improvements to stability, conflict zones, additional fixes and improvements.
There's quite a lot in there, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're not going into more, just to give you a little peek behind the curtain as to why sometimes it comes a bit late, is just how it works. If we look at all the stuff that's in there and we think we've got fixed, but it comes through like a rigoring testing period where we go like, are these things actually tested and fixed? And once we know, we agree, we're happy to release them. So look, this is definitely fixed. And even then, sometimes in the wild, it doesn't work. That's just unfortunately the nature of development, but we'll take that feedback. Obviously, when it comes in, I do know one of the AX weapons that doesn't synthesise the ammunition, and that you got over Christmas, and that was a big thing for us.
Yes, the CG reward.
Yeah, the CG reward. We had that confirmed just prior to stream. That is actually fixed as well, and we'll be going in. But again, will be full detailed patch notes prior to release, so you'll see there's quite a lot in there, as well as obviously these other things that players will be able to do to help push back the war.
Yeah, and also we did release initial improvements to the mission boards. So massive thanks for your patience on this since update 14 and over Christmas. We did have some issues with mission boards not loading properly, incorrectly, that was quite a widespread issue. And we did, I don't know if we have a link to this, but there was a forum post anyway that outlines that improvement steps have been taken. You should be, and I have seen many commanders in the forums saying that yes, notable improvements have been made to mission boards, but we are definitely aware that we need to keep an eye on those still. So we're making steps. We'll keep an eye out.
Sure. One of the things I touched on just a minute ago was the Thargoid war feedback. Now, Bruce may have popped a thread in the forum you may have noticed. So this is just having a listen to what players are, how you're experiencing the war, because we, as you know, and we've got a special guest on. I overearned it by what I'm about to say. Anyways, the Thargoids have their own set of goals, and they are working pretty much autonomously towards these goals. But we need to make sure that players have a good experience. So we asked for some feedback on the war, what you're liking, what you're not liking, what you'd like to be made more clear, and hopefully we can work some of that stuff into, if not this update, future updates down the line. So please have a look at that forum thread. We're keeping a close eye on it, and we're obviously feeding that back in, so please don't think it's just us asking and shouting into the ether. We actually do want to hear your feedback on the war. And always really pleasing to see. I like following along for the war, not for my own nefarious reasons, but I like seeing those little victories from humanity.
Yes.
It makes me think you've got a chance. No, I don't. I think you've got a chance. Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, please take a look at that forum link in our threads. So it's the Thargoid War feedback thread. And then obviously people keep asking about updates 15 and 16, and rightly so, because you should be excited. So yes, obviously pleased to confirm that updates 15 and 16 are coming this year. 15 is scheduled for April. People are asking what's in 15. I can't tell. We know what's in it. I can't tell you what's in it. It's cool. I think some of you can work it out. I think possibly.
It's something to look forward to.
It's something.
And,
it's really cool.
Yeah, we always say, don't we? Just get excited, be excited, whatever. But trust us.
Yeah. Look, it's on target. It's up to date for April. We are hoping to share some bits ahead of time, which we may do, because there's some stuff there we think we might be able to share with you. But that won't be right now. Obviously, that'll be when we're confident that we've got it in a place that's good enough to share. So that's coming in April. 16 will be later on in the year, and again, when we have more details on that, we'll let you know. But again, we're happy to say there's plenty coming along for 2023, and that's just what we're talking about right now. And I have seen it mentioned.
Console copy portal. We do hear you.
Yeah.
We owe you some.
Yes. Yeah. We owe you some news on that one. I will go and do some digging. I know the dev team have been really, really busy working on 14, the mini update in Jan, and obviously they're hard at work on 15. They haven't forgotten the console portal at all. This is something I will go and do some digging for you. Hopefully I'll get you some answers next week, just to give you some rough dates and times as to when we can expect to see that back. It is coming back. I just need to find out when. That's probably one for me to pick up since I said I'd get it. So it's on me. I'll go find the information and get it next week for you.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
So that's the news as such as it stands
Gaming.
at the moment. I guess we can talk about Galnet. So we've got some of the choice articles from Galnet,
Yeah.
Sally. So this isn't every single article. This is just some poignant ones.
Yeah.
So do you want to start off and then I'll follow as best I can in my non-reading it word for word?
Yeah, because this one was an exciting one, and I'm excited about it. The experimental weapon stabilizer initiative began and has concluded. But just as a recap, Azimuth Biotech has requested, they did request, deliveries to LHS 1163 to manufacture a module that increases AX weapons capacity. Whoa!
More bug swatting weapons.
Yes. So within the article, commanders, you were informed of a proposed increase to hardpoint capacity for anti-Xeno combat ships as a result of the successful campaign.
Yeah.
And these should be live.
Yeah, so it should be good. But not everyone's happy with Azimuth. They were good guys, Azimuth. They're just helping out, right? You wanted more pew-pew weapons to shoot Thargoids, and Azimuth stepped in as they did, helped out. And of course, along comes Operation Witch Hunt, moaning about Azimuth again, so we're not happy. There's been no peas in some people, Sally.
No, but it's very cool that there was a spokesperson.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery for Operation Witch Hunt as part of that article that was last week.
Yeah,
so
yeah. If you go and look at the article, you'll see there. I'm not going to repeat their words here, but Operation Witch Hunt did respond to Azimuth being really nice and helping everybody out. So we have, and there was an update to the Thargoid War. So Vox Galactic reported Jade Sanderlin has published a summary of the current situation in the conflict against the Thargoids. So basically, it's not going well. Basically, TLDR, it's not going well. We are getting a string of victories. Humanity is having success in some systems, preventing the Thargoids coming in. But wider scope, taking a look, it's not going as well as we'd like it to be going for humanity. And I think the millions upon millions of people that are dispersed is pretty testament to that. So there was talk about a study for over unclassified relics. Strange artifacts were recovered from Thargoid surface sites, and after the prototype wave fired, have made their way to Professor Palin. They're having a little look-see, having a poke around, see what they can do with them.
Palin and Ram.
Yeah, having a little bit of a powwow, see if they can work it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're our brightest minds. I'm sure they'll come up with something, Sally. So that was an update. It's not going well, but there's always hope.
Who would you take your relic to?
Who's the one that's not actually a professor? Because one of them is it Ramtar's not a professor, right? Yeah, he's just Ramtar. Yeah, so I go with Ramtar to prove that you don't need to stay at school, kids. Just do what you want. No. What was the question? What was the question? Yeah, Ramtar. I'll go take it to Ramtar.
Yes. Daddy Ram.
Daddy Ram. Okay. Okay.
I would go to Ramtar. I just find like he is.
You trust him?
I do, because Palin didn't do us any favours last year, a year before, and I'll keep bringing it up and I'll never drop it when he just. Disappeared.
You're not one to let a grudge go, are you, Sally?
No, I don't. And I'll bring Dalton back on.
I was going to say, I'm waiting for it.
I mean, if you want to talk about this sort of thing, I've got a list of people that I just don't.
You can't have a list now. Christmas has been and gone, Sally.
No,
Naughty and nice is done.
But then we go on to story 3, and we're the pro-ageist stance of the princess. So Ashley's obviously piping up a lot now as well, which I'm okay with Ashley to some degree, but I'm not she's not my favourite. But I know that a lot of people obviously she's the people's princess. I'm not jealous or anything either.
All right, no, I wasn't saying you were.
What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Let's move on. So, moving on to. So basically, the war's happening.
Yeah.
We're not really winning. We are. I would say it's safe to say we're steadily losing at this rate in time. But we have been sucker punched. The Thargoids have attacked en masse.
Yes.
But there's always hope.
Yes.
And I'm sure we're working towards that right now. Right. So, what's next on our agenda, Sally?
Where are we then?
I did story 3, which I believe was Ashley DeVal.
Did you do Ashley?
Well, you kind of spoke about it. Okay. So she's had a call for the Empire to commit to a resumed Aegis project. So she's basically saying yes, the Aegis should come back. I don't know how chat feel about Aegis.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Chat, do you think Aegis should come back? Do you think they've been useful in the past? I think, there is the Thargoid threat right now. It's obviously quite a potent threat. Did Aegis ever have an effect on the Thargoids? Everyone's saying yes. Someone says boo.
Azimuth all the way. Azimuth all the way.
Well, hey, look.
I mean, it's fine.
Say what you look. I understand Azimuth gets a bad rap. I understand Salvation gets a bit of a hard time, but at points he was successful in destroying large numbers of Thargoid forces. He may have brought them there in the first place, but don't worry about that. Skip over some of the parts. But TLDR, he did have some victories. Maybe there was some merit in what he was trying to do.
He did pull his weight,
he did lead to a galactic war when billions have died, but apart from that, he was trying. Aegis just faded away.
He made an impact. Some might say.
He made an impact.
He made an impact. Good. Well, that's the in-game news, and that's all. That's it.
So that's where we're at with the war. I think lots of you will understand where we're at. But remember, the war, and I want to stress this, there is something there for the majority of players. You don't just have to go in and shoot Thargoids. You can go in. There's rescue missions, there's trade missions, there's repair missions. There's loads of stuff to be going on. Even if you want to go the other side of it and start taking relics and sort of getting those things across.
Yeah.
All of this stuff counts. And if you're an explorer out there, maybe, just have a look for somewhere nice that we may need to go to somewhere soon. Who knows? Find us somewhere sunny. All right, so what's next on the list, Sally?
Community news.
Okay, so what are we going to start with?
I'll tell you what we will start off with is mentioning New Year, new events, community calendar.
On the calendar, yes.
This still gets checked every Monday, and then we publish any community events that you may have in and around the Elite Dangerous Galaxy. This can be for Horizons, this can be for Odyssey. They'll be put up. Adam, do we still have a link to it?
Exclamation calendar, I think.
Yeah, exclamation mark calendar.
Yeah.
Something.
If you go along, pop your events in there, and like you say, we review it every Monday and we'll populate the calendar. It's just a handy place for people to go to who want to see people with like-minded ideas and what events are running, so they can go there and have a little look through.
Yes. So please do, utilise that, and we'll get posting that and sharing that. We often feature them also in Discovery Scanner and the newsletter.
The newsletter, yes, which is similar to newsletter.
Every 2 weeks.
Yes. Goes out first.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. And then we have, obviously, we're pleased to say that we had an update on the amount of the galaxy that was.
Go on, yes. This is it.
We have this lovely. If you follow us on our social media assets, you'll see that the percentage was, in fact, a whopping 0.059% of the galaxy thus far has been explored. That's 236,219,997 star systems explored. So. Question is, can we move it that 0.1% to make it 0.060 in a year?
4 billion star systems.
Yeah,
to contend with.
Yeah, there's a lot of space out there, but there's also. I'd love to see what this happens when someone like Commander Picard comes back, and then just like, here's all my data.
Do you know what?
I'm going to buy a planet.
I need to check in with Picard.
Yeah, I think some of our explorers have been out for a while.
Yeah, they normally do post like an annual sort of, I've done this much.
I think I saw it actually, I've forgotten the number, so I'm sure somebody else will reach out to Picard. But there's a couple of explorers out there, and I noticed that he extended his mission a couple of years, I think he said. But I'm so curious to see if that would change that percentage, just to see it go in when it comes in. But do you
think we'll be around for the 1%? As in, I hope we're alive. I didn't mean that to sound like we'd be really old or anything. But
I don't know. It's a lot.
I just wonder.
It's a lot, right?
Where will we all be when it's 1%? Because it will get there.
Yeah.
How old will I be?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, we're essentially 9 years old this year, so that's 9 years worth of exploration. So I don't know.
No.
So you'd need another 9 years to get to close to it.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, I'll be hitting 30.
Excuse me?
I'll be just about to turn 30, the big 3-0.
Having a party?
Having a party, yep.
Okay.
Me and my colostomy bag.
Speaking
Moving on.
Of parties, I'm trying to do really cool segues.
Sure.
Parties, gatherings. everybody being together.
Yep.
There was a community event hosted by the wonderful Burr Pit
Yep.
very recently, where it's called the Community Fly-In and Canyon Cruise event, which featured over 40 commanders.
I think it was like 45 or somewhere close. Yeah.
In an instance.
In a canyon.
In an instance.
I'm
Look
sure
at it.
seconds after this picture, there was much death.
Yes, I think Commander Exorcist shared this. There's also a lovely video on the Burr Pit's channel that you can watch. But this is basically a snapshot of, I love this photo. It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
All the goosebumps.
Do you know what I like about this? It's all the different colours of the ships and stuff like that. Like, it's a proper mishmash of like types of ship, paint kits, colours there. There's a crate in it. Yeah, I love this shot. It's so cool.
Yeah, I reached out to the Burrs just to sort of get an overview of the event and some of the cool things. It was, and I have notes here, literally a case of gathering whoever wanted to participate together, going on a relatively gentle, follow the leader style flight. Over 45 around commanders. And they said, and this is quite touching actually, seeing that many ships flying together, all shapes and sizes, never gets old. Everyone had a great time and there was a great sense of community. So
yeah, it's great. It's great. Then they do some crazy stuff, the Burrs. I mean, if people are curious about where this was, where these canyons were, and you want to maybe go there yourself, it's the canyons of Kadaran 6B. That's Kadaren space 6B. That's Kadaran, not Kardashian.
I wonder if there is a system on that.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's really, really cool. If you want to go and then do your own little mass sort of fly through, or even reenact the trench run from Star Wars, you could definitely do that here.
Yes. Beautiful. Do you want to do this one?
Is this the portraits?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really cool. I saw these coming through. This is the Highwake. Obviously, went through a sort of spat of delivering these really cool portraits. So I think Adam's got a list of them. If you were lucky enough, there's more than what we show here. Yeah,
like,
but these are so cool.
Look at Mr. Wallacefoon.
Do you know what I like? It's the lovely attention to detail in everything. So there's obviously the Galnet News Digest. We have Cree in here. We have
for all of their personality traits,
and in some cases their pets.
And
their co-pilots are in there, which is great.
Holy
of course, LCU No Fool Like One.
So good.
And we have Zulu Romeo with his I think it's renowned now.
Iconic.
Yeah.
He's so known for that helmet.
Yeah.
It's Zulu.
There we go.
This was amazing.
Of course, we have our very own Sally Morgan Moore and the pink wafer.
Notes.
Yeah, and the update notes. It's very touching. These are very, very cool. Very, very sweet.
But I mean, not only these, the animations. Like we saw at the end of last year. Which one was it now? There was an incredible one anyway that went out at the end of last year. And they're just blow us away every time we see them.
But please give them a follow, have a little look-see. And the same with anyone whose content we show. So we've got something to show in a moment, which was really, really cool.
Yes.
But like the Burrs and Highwake and Exorcist and Picard and all the people we mentioned or show, just have a look around. There are so many amazing people in our community doing really, really cool things. And we may miss you off on our list, and I'm really sorry if we do, but there are so many people out there doing really fun stuff. So have a look around, because one really cool creator will lead you to somebody else, to somebody else, to somebody else. Yeah. Like it could be Beetlejuice doing a drawing, leads you on to somebody else, and you see her interacting with Alec Turner.
Yeah.
Who does something really crazy in his SRV, as he's always doing, and who could lead you on to somebody else who's doing something. Just have a look, because some of the stuff is honestly mind-blowing. So cool. So thank you very much, the Highwake, for that amazing set of images. And there's loads more on their social. If you go and have a look, loads more.
Somebody did suggest like making a calendar out of them.
Okay, of which I must say, and I'm remiss because I haven't had a chance to get to it yet. So thank you so much. I think it's Rooster might have sent it through, and the Winged Hussars have sent through another calendar, which I haven't had a chance to open. But in 2 weeks' time, I will make sure if it's not me on, someone will have it on, and we'll showcase the calendar. But I haven't had a chance to get to it yet because I've been absolutely snowed today. But I know it's the calendar because I saw the package, and I know exactly what that is. So yeah, can't wait to open that up.
Excellent. So to transition us into the next segment of the show, there is still one more community piece to show, and friend of the Commanders, Commander Exorcist, returns for season 5 of ED Out There, which we absolutely adore. And they released a trailer very recently. It goes, season 5 starts on the 18th of February, if I got that right. I hope I did. And yeah, let's enjoy the trailer as we get ready for
our special guest.
special guest.
And if you want to see more, it's !Exorcist, and you'll get links to the channel.
Yes.
Cool. See you in a bit.
Okay. We're back.
We are back.
Oh, wow. And we got an extra body.
Some random just
I'm
walked
not
into
sure
the
you
bar.
know who this guy
Just walked
is,
into the
actually.
bar and sat down. Didn't buy us a drink.
No.
No.
Thanks, Darren. Thanks for coming.
Drinking in the middle
It's
of a work day.
It's the end. It's the end. It's 4:30.
Yeah, we're nearly there.
Hello.
For anybody that doesn't know you, Darren, who are you? Where do you come from? What do you do? Don't give your address out.
Where do I come from?
Full address, please, Darren.
I'm Darren and I'm a senior designer on Elite.
Thank you very much for joining us. Did you have a nice Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas, both New Year's, quite fun.
Oh, you celebrate 2 years, didn't you?
Yeah,
So,
I
of
celebrate the
course.
New Year with my other half as well.
Aw.
So both New Year's, good fun.
Yep.
Lots of food, like just absurd amounts of food. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. So good. So you're back at work now. It feels weird because we're almost in February because we were going to do the stream last week. No, don't feel bad about it, Adam. You just disrupted our entire calendar, but don't, it's fine.
Well,
We're
that and
over it
I
now.
like as well as like the New Year, I take a chunk of January normally off for my birthday as well. So like I basically like just take like
happy
New Year's
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah, when's
happy
your
birthday as
It's like the Monday when the last Discovery scanner went out, 16th.
Oh, I didn't put it in.
Yeah,
I didn't put it in there for you.
sorry.
Happy birthday, Darren.
Thank you. But then that was like so I like had like Christmas and New Year's and then my birthday and then the other New Year's. So I just like taking time off. So I basically like
Just to rest.
just not worked since before we broke off for the New Year. It's great.
However, you do and have kept a solid eye on things happening out there.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Darren is no stranger to keeping an eye on you and what you do particularly on social media, you do have a keen interest in what commanders do out there, don't you?
You make me sound like a stalker.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
No,
Right.
it's I mean, like it's lots of looking at numbers and paying attention to what people are figuring out, what people are looking at, bits and pieces like that.
I mean, especially with the new happenings since update 14. You do mention numbers there.
Well, there's some. I mean,
Something happened.
There was some new stuff that went in update 14
Yeah.
and some new. Yeah.
Yeah, and it did make me laugh because I think one particular post that you put out on Twitter, you were like, you did that meme with the board
the
behind
Charlie,
you,
yeah, the Charlie
like,
Day one, yeah.
and then looking at commanders trying to figure out the war and trying to do things like that. Like,
Yeah, I had a bit of fun with it.
what were you kind of looking for at that point? What were you keeping
I mean,
an
at that
eye
point,
on?
it was just everyone sort of trying to. We had the rogue signal sources, and everyone was like pointing at the sky, like looking at the impending doom, and it was kind of like everyone sort of knew what was coming, but you didn't know what was coming, and then it happens. You're like, oh yeah.
Do you have any like? I mean, it's weird for us to be able to talk to you about this now because obviously there's lots of anticipation. We always say it's about sort of particularly the elite communities. Like in our mind, we think we know what's going to happen, but we never really know until obviously it's live. What were what was the development team's feelings like when you saw obviously players reacting to these maelstroms sort of deploying?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I always say that content releases are like Christmas morning, where you sort of like watch the kids like rip open their presents, like, whoa, oh, what's this, what's that? And I think for a lot of us, seeing players go into the maelstrom for the first time and start poking around and it feeling like a genuinely alien space is quite interesting. So they're coming across the generators and trying to interact with those, and some of them I think I can't remember who it was, but they were flying up towards and they were like, oh, what's this? And oh, it's beeping, and then it just shoots off, and then they just freak out. It's like it was completely non-violent, but they freak out because they just weren't expecting it. And then the first time they get hit by that big pulse, there was a lot of like, what the heck responses, which were really good fun, because when you don't know something's going to happen and it's not been spoiled in any way, and then it happens to you, it's great. And that's when devs are like really cleanly watching Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun to watch the players interacting. I enjoyed players deciding that I'm going to head towards this wave that's knocking me back. And it might be damaging my ship. I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to keep accepting. I'm going to go faster this time. This time I'm going to try it without shields. And this time it's like you're going to the same response. But I admire their scientific approach to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's that old definition of insanity. But if you're trying something new, then it's a bit different. Yeah, for science.
And I'm too scared to get a scratch. I don't know how people.
About the pink wafer?
Yeah.
It's too soon still?
Yeah. It does hurt a little bit still.
Well, you know,
But,
shouldn't find the chieftain. You've been all right.
Oh, no. So you were talking about numbers and keeping an eye on things, and as you all know, when was it? I think it was after the first week of the war. We did put out a slight rebalance to things after feedback and after.
Well, not on the first week. We put an explicit like slight number change just before we all sort of broke off for the new year. But numbers were changing behind the scenes as each maelstrom turned up, and that wasn't really just us pulling threads. Like systemically, the number of maelstroms actually correlates to the sort of level of strength of the Thargoids and like how their forces were spread thin. So like all of that's baked into the system.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we talked about this sort of right at the start. The first initial maelstrom and the first two, I guess it's the first three, were very much a sucker punch, right? It was like
hard.
Tip of the spear,
and it was meant to hit hard because on the one hand you don't want to sort of just bat them away. It's really anticlimactic if humans were just get away
now they're
from
dead.
That'd been a bit naff. But at the same time, we needed to make sure that we were having numbers where there is an impact happening, and you can start to see some stuff moving, even though we knew that as the other maelstroms were turning up, the numbers would automatically start to change, and there was a bit of ebb and flow that would come with it. The numbers that we sort of started with were higher than what they were before we even did a number change, because they were going to be dropped down just systemically on their own. And we did all of those numbers based on lots and lots of deep dives into telemetry data, looking at primarily CGs, actually. A lot of the data we have on CGs sort of tells us how much of a certain thing can players do in a certain amount of time. And the sort of Azimuth finale in HIP 22460, that was a really big point for us to basically, it's like, how many Goids can players kill in a week?
A lot, apparently.
Like a lot. So we effectively built that up. We knew how we were going to do the Maelstrom turns up, numbers dissipate, and we built all that into it. And obviously there's a bit of guesswork in there. There's a lot of finger crossing, hoping that we get the numbers right, and we were quite comfortable. We were slightly off, and that's where we made the balance changes right at the mid of December. So we made like one hard balance pass change before we all took a break off, and that it wasn't actually that much of a difference from what it was before we made the change. But we made it nonetheless, because we knew that we just missed it by a little bit of a mark. And obviously we need to pay attention to what the players are doing, what the rates of all the actions are, and it is literally a balancing act.
Yeah. But just, and to be clear, this doesn't change that the Thargoids are operating with their own agenda.
Yeah.
They are still operating with like what they want to be doing.
Like each week, I have no idea what systems
What have you
Thargoids are gonna
created,
pick.
Darren?
I don't know. No one knows. We just have to take a look and watch and see. And depending on what players do, Thargoids will respond slightly differently. They might go in different systems and whatnot, and that's cool and scary and exciting. So we just have to wait and see.
So for anybody who's not maybe familiar with what's happened and what the changes were since update 14 and how the war works, and obviously there's a lot of complex things going on, can you share with us like a little overview on, what players are experiencing?
So how far back are we going? Like
Since
just update 14?
Yeah,
are we talking
go.
about Azimuth and all that stuff?
No, update 14.
No,
Let's
just
go from
update
the war.
14.
The war has begun and they're here.
So these big shooting lights in the sky finally stopped moving, and they turned out to be these giant yellow clouds of caustic and death and explosions. And that have come from those, presumably, are lots of Thargoids, which are now attacking systems owned by humans, and they're making their way into human territory. So they're progressing through different system states. They start with an alert state, where they're effectively like scouting out the system, looking at what defences humans might have there, whether there are defences or whatnot. There's a special new Thargoid that has a role specifically for doing that job. And if that scouting is allowed to happen, then players will find that Thargoids make an attack on that system the next week. And if the locations that are in that system aren't defended, then the week after there are no defences left, it will be owned by Thargoids. Mm-hmm. It will come under their control. So that's kind of like the flow of what happens.
Yeah.
And if players do manage to push Thargoids out of the system, then the system will start to recover, and they'll have it back.
Nice. And that's all visible to the player as well now in the UI as well.
Yeah, we have a totally new UI sort of map mode. I think it's literally called Thargoid War.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah,
the
that's
map
right.
mode.
Yeah.
So it's nice and very like transparent. It's like this is there. It lists activities for you to do, how to make the different states move, and it literally says like you want to get rid of this state, do this. And then you go do that, and it has an effect, and it all happens in the back end, and you get a nice little progress bar and all that stuff.
It's one of the things I said sort of early on is like a wow statement, but it's generally true. Like I don't think anyone's ever tried to do what you guys have done, which is, this is a war on a galactic scale, on a simulated one-to-one scaled version of the Milky Way, and you're always listening to the player feedback and making sure that players can see where their efforts will be best deployed, I guess, is what we're trying to get to the point, so that it's trying to find a way to disseminate all the information that's going on all these different systems and all these different states, and saying to players, well, hey, look, you could be focused here, here, or here. And then we're always listening to that feedback and looking to improve. How do you think the war's going?
Could be going better. I think the thing is, it goes back to what I said a little bit before. If it was going too well, then it might not feel right. But likewise, if it was, if the Thargoids had just completely ran through the bubble and burnt everything immediately, that wouldn't have felt very good either. And feel, there's a term which we use, which is just game of feel. It's like, how does it feel right now? And there are certain bits which at the moment feel really good and players are really enjoying it, at least from what I can see. And there are other points which we're like, oh, actually, it looks like this bit might need some attention and that bit might need some attention. And that's where we're looking at those sort of frustrations so that we can make those adjustments. So at the moment, it looks like it's in a comfortable place. That's not to say we're not making changes. We will be making some changes and we're going to be talking about those in a bit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, whatever I was going to say, we were able to share. Obviously, we are, there are future updates coming. And is there anything that you can share with us on what commanders can expect?
Well, we've got a patch coming out quite soon.
Monday, I think we said, unless there's something changes. Just a caveat, as always. We're planning for Monday, but it's things can go wrong.
It's on the show notes there, just so I can.
This is it.
Just so I can scroll up there. There it is. So we've got a few things that are coming out in this patch. One of them is a nice quality of life change in the UI. So in that Thargoid war map, we're getting a small update which lists. Well, it's not a small update. It's actually it's a really big thing. We're going to be listing the most progressed systems per system state. So for the alert state, it will list the 5 systems which are furthest to being completed, and the same with the invasion state, and the same with the control states. And what that effectively means is that whilst we know that players are going to self-organise, players have their communities and they're going to mobilise.
Which has been really fun to watch. It's been really great to watch.
Which is amazing. I mean, we're banking on it. It's one of the coolest things about the game is we have to design around the fact that we know our players and our community are so good at mobilising. So that's all great, but there are lots of players which don't necessarily get involved with like the wider community, and this is largely for them, as well as for the more organised players as well, where it will list those systems and basically say these are the systems which are closest to being won over this week. And the really cool thing is the moment one of them will hit, or not moment, but when we get the updates, when one of them hits 100% and it is like done, it'll be removed from the list, and a new one gets slotted in at the bottom. So that way we can minimise
efficient focus, right?
Yeah, so we can maximise humanity sort of knowing where they need to go, and it minimises sort of a bit of wasted effort. By like looking at some numbers, I have seen that on some weeks a system was won over by like 135%. I was like, oh, that was like 35% extra work. Sometimes that is because lots of players do lots of things all at once and it ticks over, or it's like people do like mass mission hands-ins.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's another element.
Yeah, if you've already got loads of missions, you're not going to say, oh, well, I'm not going to finish them now. That's how you go finish your mission. But this minimises that. We don't want people going into a system and doing conflict zones and picking up missions if they can be going elsewhere. So this is going to be really, really useful for that.
But like you said, I think it's a great direction for players just get involved in this conflict to be like, right, where should I go? Because Thargoids are everywhere. Well, but like, where can I make the most effect?
Part of the direction that we really wanted for all of this is to put the fate of the galaxy in the player's hands, right? And for a lot of players, they kind of want to know, where am I going to be most effective right now as someone that's just going to play this evening, and this is my time to play this week. I'm not playing every day. Where can I maximise my efforts to helping out the community? And it's like, oh, there, I'm going to go there and I'm going to do my work. Then that's that. And that's great. So that's a really cool feature that we're getting in. We are having some new activities which are going to be contributing. So salvage activities. So at the moment, players have the ability to pick up and find, in some scenarios, things like black boxes or escape pods, or they can take tissue samples from different Thargoids. Now, what will happen is if players collect those in a system and then hand them in at a rescue ship, the system that salvage was collected from will receive a bonus in pushing the Thargoids back. So that is irrespective of what rescue ship you hand it into, but it does have to be a rescue ship, and it's the system that it's picked up from, which is really cool. We've actually had to put in some tech for tracking that because we realised we had never actually done that before. Everything was always about where you handed stuff in and not where you picked it up from, unless you were buying it. But salvage isn't bought from a place; you just find it, right? So this, you pick up the tissue samples, you pick up escape pods, black boxes. Those all make a difference.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, every escape pod you find is a person you've saved, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And who knows what might happen to the person if you don't find them, Darren.
Floating forever.
Like,
And
There's a
Right.
lot of love.
You have no idea who that person might be, right? It might be the key to solving the war.
It could be
so-
someone
That-
singing a really lovely fetching song just floating through space.
Oh,
It could be.
yeah,
It could be that.
could
In which
be,
case,
couldn't
my
it?
suggestion would be leave them there, leave them in the pod.
You just take them out, and you're like, you can go, you can go back on ice.
just as you start defrosting. Oh no, we're leaving them there as they are for another 100 years.
Yes, and we've got some. Oh, there was some other things as well. So that was stuff for update 14. Oh, there's something as well that I did want to actually confirm for some players. I was meant to find the commander that first brought it to my attention that some people had figured it out. But we don't mind sort of like confirming this. And this is sort of to do with how much effort is needed to sort of win over systems, and
Right, okay.
how those
Right.
might work. So we're comfortable confirming that unpopulated systems are easier to defend, or they've got smaller targets for defending or winning back than systems that are populated or had a population before Thargoids took them. And the other one is systems, their sort of target and the amount of effort that's needed actually decreases as you get further away from the maelstroms. So there is more work that needs to be done if you're trying to push closer to the maelstroms, and the further the Thargoids push out,
Right.
the less work
It's
is needed to be
almost
done.
like, Darren, they don't want you close to the maelstroms.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Almost like.
And well, that and the further they get, the more they're spread out
stretched,
to try
right,
to
yeah.
push right. Yeah, it's harder for them to mobilise in the same way that it would be for any front line.
Although I'd imagine if I was a Thargoid living in the maelstrom at the moment, I'd be quite happy. I'm like, well, I'm
You'd be
safe in
comfy.
here. I'm safe in here. I can just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
It smells nice and breezy.
Yeah, just keep throwing yourself at my little wave there, my friends.
Yeah, but, so yeah, the front line is important, and that kind of segues onto one of the other things that we're having in this patch is we are building in a sense of a front line. So the controlled systems, which are on the outer edge of Thargoid territory, are now going to have some new content to sort of highlight the fact that they are on the sort of opposite of what our invasion systems are. So
Yeah.
when players attack those sort of literal front line, there's like a ring of territory on the edge of, we've been calling them the Thargoid bubbles upstairs. So on the edge of Thargoid bubbles, there's effectively going to be new USSs and some conflict zones. So it sort of simulates that front line and humans actually fighting back into what's now become the Thargoid territory. So that should hopefully give a bit of a leg up on taking on those systems back.
I think it's one thing is to be clear on this, and you just said there, is that this is not like, to anyone that's relatively new to this stage of the conflict, this isn't like a standard incursion. They are not going anywhere. They're taking territory and keeping it, and they are defending it. They're like, well, this is ours now, so sorry.
So yeah, I mean, if you sort of jump right back into like quite deep into their territory, these conflict zones and USSs don't exist because humanity is in the human occupied systems, and then you're pushing backwards. So it's really like that sort of like front row of however many light years.
You're not going to find us deep in behind enemy lines having conflict zones everywhere because we're not there. We're at the front trying to stop them going any further.
So this is what that is, and it sort of just gives that leg up to push back on where they've been pushing. So we're not always on the back foot. It's a sort of a leg up on taking back the control systems. What else is on there? We've got some new gameplay opportunities in the recovery state.
Right.
So in the post-Thargoid recovery state, players can now do reboots of the Odyssey settlements, and when you get those back online, if all of them have been gotten back online, then there is effectively an increased buffer for the progress done on the recovery state, which can knock as much as a week off of the recovery time.
Oh, wow! So it's worth doing then.
Yes. So the recovery systems, they recover over a period of weeks, and if all of these settlements are brought back online, that will take a week off of that recovery time. It's like a quick bump up, and the UI has been updated slightly to reflect the work that's being done in that system, so that in the last week, where it will automatically tick over into being completed the week afterwards, we show the bar as 100%, just so that players know that the doing extra work here isn't going to speed things up, because it will be ticking over at the week afterwards. But everything before that final week, players can speed up the process, because if you were to repair and do all of the stations in the first week, then on week 2 it would be at 100% and the system's working again. So that's a change we've made.
There's a lot of thanks for the quality of life aspect of this. Like, you can clearly tell that you're all very much thinking about it and everything that's currently coming into play, I guess, and you're monitoring everything that's going on. It's not just automated button presses, this, that, and the other. Like,
and as you were going through the bits, I was like, and this is an interim update. This is the stuff you're putting in January, right?
This is the patch.
This
isn't just a few tweaks here and there. This is a real substantial bit of thought that's gone into Monday's update. So thanks for sharing some more with us there, David.
It's all lots of cool stuff. And I mean, the players are really enjoying the update, and we're enjoying watching them enjoy the update. It's just sort of the more they play it, the more we can see where there are things that we can change and make slightly better, and that's what it's all about, really, is sort of trying to deliver that best experience.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've been enjoying this as much as I have, but what I like is what we've seen is the war is adapting its own narrative amongst player groups and stuff like that, and we're seeing battles taking place and there's little victories taking place, and we're seeing players organise on their own. But this is just, realistically speaking, this is just the start, right? I mean, this is we're only a few months into this war.
Yeah, and it's always one of those things. Like, Galnet obviously will always comment on systems which are important to the greater narrative of the game, but there are lots of player-run narratives and lots of role-playing aspects in Elite Dangerous, and different player groups have wars with other player groups and fight for territory, and this is going to impact those territories. Like, systems which players have held on to for quite a while are at risk of being lost here. So there's lots of player-driven story, because
the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
Yeah, very much. And is that one of those things where two sort of player factions that have been neck and neck for a certain group of space for quite a while, are they suddenly going to be like, actually, we should probably stop shooting each other and make sure the Thargoids don't come this way? That's all on the cards.
I don't know if there's much more to say about this part, and I know you can't say anything, and I don't want you to say anything. But I do want to ask you, because you obviously do know what's coming in 15. How excited are you for players for 15?
I'm a little excited.
You're a little excited? All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Don't put Darren in a situation.
I'm not putting him in a situation.
I did put some stuff in here to talk about. So we've got some stuff. Yeah, we do have some stuff about some future updates that we can talk about a little bit. One of the things is the loss of progress. So we reset the bars each week. That is something which we have heard the player voices over. It's something we have looked at. We are going to be addressing and making a change to. what that specifically is. We have a very strong idea of what that will be, but it's nothing to announce at the moment. But we are looking at it, and we are going to be making a change for it. In terms of update 15 and onwards, there are two little tidbits which we chose the words for these like very carefully. So the first one was there are going to be new tactics for humans to be able to use against the Thargoids, but the Thargoids will also have some new tactics to use against humans. And that's all.
That's all we're going to say. And that's all we had to say about
it. A lot more tact than what you would have said.
I will.
What are you saying?
Yeah. Well, there's also there's one slight hint that we also wanted to give with the way players are sort of mobilising at the moment, and that is like to do with the systems that they're sort of focusing on and where they might be focusing some of their efforts. It's not to say they're not doing a good job. They're winning plenty of systems and keeping stuff over, but there hasn't been too much of a change in the way that you can defeat aliens since Space Invaders, and sometimes shooting where they're going to be and not where they are can make a bit of a difference.
It's like you've turned into Dungeon Master. You're just going to speak in riddles now, aren't you? You're going to get your red cloak. You just bring Darren on and then be like, look for the waterfall without water. And
but
what?
Some of that, yes, there are some systems in certain system states which might not be getting enough attention.
Okay.
And that might make a lot of a difference.
Suffice to say, we are still at the start of this war. I mean, and I keep saying it, like, this hasn't been done ever on this scale, a simulated galactic war with player input, push and pull. So I think it's fantastic. We are only at the start, and and whilst the war may not be going at the moment in humanity's favour, there's always hope that at some point they can turn the tide.
Well, you've got to keep them on their toes. Yeah. Our players have been too good at killing Thargoids for too long. And
they are so, like, this is something that I was going to come on to as well, like the community-led reporting and the community really getting stuck into, like, where can we go next, what can we do, that community spirit that you said earlier with, like, groups getting together and going, right, we need to save this system, we need to prevent this, we need to prevent that. And we've seen, like, you know, player webs, like Inara, for example, have an entirely new segment on their section on their website. I think Adam's got like a picture of that.
I mean, like, our players are more efficient and sort of organised than a lot of political bodies. Like, like, quite frank. I mean,
give them more credit than that. Give them more credit for that.
To be honest, a lot of our players practically are political bodies.
That's the Inara one.
That's the Inara one.
Yeah. But it's crazy because things like these pop up, and we're like, hey, wait a minute, like Inara, you know, how many systems are taken? How many? You know?
I saw like a brand new one the other day, which was like it wasn't Inara, I can't remember what the site was called. But Luke sent it to me and I was like, this is awesome. This is so cool.
Yeah, no, I believe that one actually brings us on to the Burrs. So the Burrs do post up on Twitter their suggested targets, and they actually may be using the same site, because I sent similarly to Luke, the DCOH Watch site.
I think that might have been it.
Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
It's incredible, and the Burrs lean on data from that in order to produce these that are then shared over on Twitter. And I'll just quote the Burrs, because again I reached out. I've reached out to the Burrs a little bit for their intel over the course of this. Obviously, you've seen from the stream, but they say it's intended as a guide for those that really want to do something but don't know where to start. And I love that, because this situation and Elite Dangerous in itself is complex. Like there is a lot going on already without us then throwing a Thargoid war into the mix. And you know,
the thing is that new UI is going to. It's not necessarily as soon as the week starts. It's just going to throw systems at players. It's effectively going to reflect what players have decided to organise against. So when you've got things like those pages and everyone's like, okay, it's Thursday morning, let's tack these systems. Let's make our waves here. The game will then reflect that because those are the systems where work is being done. So then those are the systems that are in the list. So it's kind of like it's less us sort of trying to do the job of the players are doing, and it's more us sort of saying, well, this is where you guys are working. This is us almost just feeding back to the community what the community have already decided to do. It's really cool.
This is one thing I love about sort of, you know, one of the core principles that you're working, which is player agency and stuff like that, allowing players to have that agency in the galaxy, and it's working exactly like we would wish it to have worked. So yes, we've got a sucker punch, and now everyone's really slowly starting to sort of come around again. They're starting to gather. They're starting to sort of sort this stuff out, and they're like, right, let's correlate our information. Let's try and reform. Let's try and strike back. Let's try and align and be like, where do we want to hit our target? And it's exactly what we wanted to see this.
Those new gimbaled weapons are bloody good too.
Well, and now they're going to get extra, more shooty weapons thanks to Azimuth, by the way. Right, just saying.
Yeah.
Good guy, Azimuth.
But it's just great, and I love it every time that we put something out, you put something out, and it's like, right, how can we manipulate that? How can we get more out of that? Is what you guys do. And it blows us away every time. And like Darren said, we're sharing these links internally. We're like, look what these guys have done now, and look what they're achieving, and it's well done, everybody.
Yes, well done. It's a long road, though. I'm just gonna emphasise this. It's. I wouldn't be expecting some sort of Star Wars Luke Skywalker moment here, because it's not going to happen.
Road? Where they are, they don't need roads.
Oh, easy. We're Back to the Future stuff. I'm on you. I see you. All right. Do we have anything else to? Because I'm at risk of asking Darren loads of questions I shouldn't. So
but I mean, Darren has been.
I mean, you can ask. I just won't answer.
Yeah, I know you won't. But we will later on, obviously down the line, we'll share more news with that sort of stuff. And again, Sally will, of course, do some really cool patch notes for you all prior to release. And as soon as we have the information on downtime, file size, etc., we will get that out to you.
We will get that out. But hopefully, like what Darren shared today, and you know, this just shows the scale of Monday. You know, the devs really have put a lot of thought into, you know, everything that we were bringing out. Hopefully, quality of life, not only addressing issues. But yeah, good steps.
All right, so if you have just joined us, I just want to remind you, you're welcome to Frameshift Live. It's our bi-weekly show. It's our first one of this year. If you are joining us, we talk about all things sort of game-related, so it's game news, updates, sort of in-game news, so Galnet, player stuff, expeditions, and sometimes we have some wonderful guests on, like Darren. Yes. Darren, you're going to stay with us, I think, are you?
Yeah, you may as well. We need to do some screenshots.
We need to do a set of screenshots. Whilst you're joining, obviously, you have access to Twitch drops, so as soon as you start watching, as long as your account is linked, please make sure it is. You'll be access to the standardised welcome pack, which is our purple Twitch drops, which are purple engine colours, weapon colours, purple ship skins, there's an ancestral tattoo, there's some nameplates and stuff. That's always running, but it's limited to 28 days. I believe if you watch 2 hours of our streams, you'll probably earn all of those drops, but it depends on when you join in the campaign. If you join at the start of the month, you're probably guaranteed to get it if you watch both shows. Yeah. Outside of that, we also have our amazing sort of seasonal Twitch streams. So I don't know if
off again, if we got
now back to Super Fit Fighting Adam.
Anaconda Blizzard Ice today, and the Asper Explorer Blizzard Ice today.
Yeah, and you get them for 15 minutes. Watching for 15 minutes, you get those ones.
Unique for viewing.
And we also have a set of skins for our wonderful content creators for the Elite Partner Programme. Yeah. And they're on screen right now, and you can earn them, I believe, is by watching is it up to an hour and a half, or 2 hours?
2 hours, and anybody streaming at all on Twitch, Elite Dangerous, will have the opportunity to drop the Cobra here. So, you don't have to be a partner to drop that one.
The best thing about those ones, right?
Yeah.
They're green.
You like green?
Do you like green? Is this your favourite colour? Have we learnt a Darren fact today?
I said that.
Have I listened to a Darren fact today?
I said that a few streams ago.
All right, Darren. Maybe I was on that stream. I was on that stream, Darren. I remembered.
All the green burning flames.
I never forget. But yes, so welcome to the show. So we're now going to move on to Stellar Screenshots, which is what I love this part of the show, because we get to look at stuff, get to count how many crates are going to be in it.
No. Well, how many do you think? All right, should we do a fun? It's only silly. How many crates?
I'm going to go. I'm trying to work this out because we haven't done a Stellar Screenshots for a little while.
4 says Tal. 7.
I don't think it's that many. I'm going to go with 2. I'm going with 2.
3 says Ozzy. 0 says Face Guy. 8 says Timaru.
I mean, we've had ones before where it was like 8 out of 10.
Aramis says 3. Iran says
Darren,
10.
what ship do you fly out of interest? Please don't say a crate. It's a crate, isn't it?
You love the crate, don't you?
On my internal account, like that's like not live, what am I? I am actually in a chieftain at the moment. It was a chieftain that I
Man of taste.
It was the
Was it
chieftain
the
that I built for
war
you.
one? The meaty one? The one Darkoid shooty one?
Yeah, the Thargoid
Yeah,
shooty
yeah,
one that I
really?
built
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
It's a monster. It's an absolute
Nice.
monster.
That was the one. That's the one we built and has to do some fun shooty stuff and testing. But I would normally be in a crate. And on my live account at the moment, I think I'm actually in a Cobra.
Oh,
I think I'm
really?
in a Cobra 3, yeah.
They're very careful, then. They're a bit.
Did you notice how he picked your favourite and my?
It's almost like he's playing a political game here, making sure that we're all happy.
No, I was
That's weird.
I was in a Cobra because I reset my account when we did Odyssey, and I sort of started from scratch. And
Oh, okay.
I was doing loads of on-foot stuff, and I haven't gone through many ships yet, so I'm just sat on the Cobra. Because I'm pretty much doing.
When I first started playing Elite, I spent so long in an Asp Explorer. That was my ship for I still have one. Like I still love that ship. Like adore that ship.
Yeah. On my on the PlayStation account, I was in a Type 6 for ages. Because I was just CGs back and forth,
Interesting.
cargo. Because I'd like wake up first, and it would be like first thing in the morning, and I didn't want to make too much noise or anything, so I just like put headphones on and like listen to Spotify whilst I'm just doing CG runs in the morning.
This is definitely
Great.
something I want to get the community to come in. We have to find a way of doing this, but like, what music do you listen to? I mean, we have an amazing soundtrack in the game, but I often will listen to like, I'll have a Spotify chill list on, and I'll be like, you know what, I'm going to do this in Elite today, so I'll just whack on my Spotify and I'm like, off I go. Like if I'm just like mining, I don't actually mind, but if I exploration, it's often the Star Trek soundtrack just playing in the background. Undiscovered Country, it's very inspirational. Anyways, sorry, set of screenshots. We diverted a lot there. That's my fault.
This is the problem with me being on.
It's great.
I
No, it's
will
not.
just
It's
derail it all.
lovely. Do you want to be here for Star screenshots, though, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Kids.
So
Kids.
good. We're not quite at the end of the show yet, but we do like to aim towards that moment with Stellar Screenshots, your weekly competition, hosted on Twitter, forums. I saw somebody ask, where's your better chance of winning on Twitter, forums, Facebook, wherever? Literally, it doesn't matter. Like, they're all equally scanned, and just we are Paul.
Paul's great.
But we all look everywhere. So if you want to post to forums, we've had lots of forum winners. Twitter.
Yeah. And we do
Just
joke
go
and
nuts.
say like Death and Destruction. He loves it. He does, but he doesn't. He obviously doesn't bias it. Like he's put through some absolute stunning pictures.
We do need to keep him. We need to swerve him away sometimes from the Death and Destruction.
We need to keep him on edge.
Like the other
Just
week, I
keep
was
him
like, Paul,
tempered.
you've got to have at least one pink one in this week, and he's like, you can't tell me.
But what if it's a
what to do.
screenshot of like a pink Cobra exploding?
That's
Well,
a little bit
it's
too
awful.
soon. That's a little bit too
Why
soon
do
for
you do
Sally.
this to me? Why now? Give me at least another month to get over this. But if you are selected winner, each we'll have. How many do we have? We have a few. I've forgotten how many. We have 10.
10 is 10. Yeah.
Each week you'll win a shatter paint job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see this.
Let's see what we've got.
Winning selection. This
Wow.
one, binaries. Are there 2 or 3 there?
I can't see because there we go. Let's have a look. 2, I think, isn't it?
There's 2.
There's
There
2,
might be
yeah.
2, yeah.
That is incredible. What a shot.
It's good. What do you think, Darren?
What
What do you like about this shot?
I like that red hue on the rocks. It's quite cool. Which we got with like that lighting update, where the colour of the star
Nice
changes
plug.
the colour.
Nice update plug.
Yeah.
Thanks, Darren. Can't take the man away from updates, can
When
you?
I mean, it was really cool.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
the
yeah,
colour
no,
of
no,
the star
Yeah,
changed
I
the
remember
colour
that
of the
one.
light.
I remember doing that stream.
That was such an awesome thing. Like you could literally see the before and afterwards.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
There
if that
is
was just
one.
like a white rock instead of
Yeah,
the red,
sure.
it just wouldn't be the same. So yeah.
That reminds me of the film Close Encounters. Is it Devil's Rock? I think it reminds me of the big tall sort of I'm talking about my own here, aren't I? There's not. Okay.
You can,
Chat.
well,
Devil's
you have
Rock.
this moment. That's
Close
fine.
Encounters. Anyone?
No, my brain was thinking Riddick before the sun goes down,
okay,
and then it's just
yeah.
like, and then everything goes wrong when it goes dark.
I was with Audaxius here, Tatooine.
Oh, the Twin Suns Tatooine. Yeah, it is Star Wars.
That's where I went to, but yeah.
But cool shot. Very, very cool shot. Strong opener.
Congratulations.
Oh, look,
This one's
another
good.
on foot. Yeah.
This is the Dutch angle.
Dutch angle. Yeah. There we go. Can we have that full screen, Mr. Producer, so we can see? There we go.
I love the accents on the seat there.
Yeah, this
it
is
feels
cool.
like a very similar planet, doesn't it?
Star set or Star Rise? Do you reckon?
Ooh. I want to say Rise. Actually, my favourite is early morning. I think
Okay,
it's
well, we'll go with
early
Star
morning.
Rise then.
What do you think, Darren?
I'm gonna say set
Okay.
Star set, okay.
because of the red.
Okay. Nice.
I like that sky.
Yeah.
Looks like one of those rainbow lollies used to get out of the ice cream vans.
Yes, in the like, rocket ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the rocket lolly, yeah.
No, the rocket lollies.
nice.
The like the fruit pastel ones.
Oh,
like
the
the really
pastel
long
one.
fruit pastel ones.
Okay, all right.
Five Ice also.
Five
Other
Ice.
brands are available. Multicolored lollipops.
That saved me. Like I wasn't allowed the fruit pastel one.
No, that's not the Five Ice. That was £1 cheaper. Next. Love it. Phil. This is Phil, isn't it? Always has some incredible.
This
and,
is so good.
I always think Phil's similar to Madaxo is who. Welcome back, by the way, and also Tokuso has a real. You can tell it's their screenshot.
A distinct style.
Yeah, a distinct style, exactly. And if I was to see this without it having the commander name, I'd be like, I think that's a Phil special. It's gorgeous. I love it.
I love the way it looks like that's I don't know, it's like an episode from Star Trek, and there's something's coming through the sky. Just the way it's all framed.
You can't get through without. Like,
You know, I like a bit of Star Trek. Let's just move on.
Without
It's a
saying.
great shot. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic shot.
Well, I like that really. You can see an eclipse, like really,
Yeah, really small.
in the back. That's really cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. There's a lot going on in that picture. The more you stare at it, the more you see. It's a really, really cool picture. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where that is.
Where?
That's one of the inward bases.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? The bio... what do you call it? Oh, come on. Come on, I'll get there in a minute. Mycoid. Yeah, there you
I was
go.
like, at one point, I was like, I just put that as a misery.
No, I'll get there. This looks really sinister. Really sinister. Great shot, though.
Is that like the rust around it, or is it?
Well, that is the mycoid. It's all
Don't
dried out
lick
and
it,
stuff.
essentially, Sally.
No,
Like, it's not
no.
like it's...
What's it taste like? What do you think?
It tastes like mushrooms.
Pocket chicken, I'd imagine.
It tastes like mushrooms. It's a fungal thing because
mushrooms.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
So
like
yeah, it might.
mushrooms.
Question is what mushrooms it tastes like.
Fried, I'd say.
Fried. I mean, I was talking about like
Is
a
that the
type
fryer?
of mushroom, not
It's-
like
yeah, it's
how
not-
how's it been cooked.
Someone in chat's asked, is that the fryer? Like, it isn't actually a weapon, it's just a giant fryer. It's just a giant mushroom fryer. That's all it is.
The ones that you get on the full English. Yeah, those ones.
Is there a specific type of mushroom
Yeah,
that goes
There's
in
a
the
big
full
fat
Buttered
mushroom.
mushroom.
Portobellos.
Button mushroom.
Portobellos or
mushrooms.
butter mushrooms.
Do they taste different?
I don't know. If you have a refined mushroom palate, I'm sure they do.
Oh no.
I've never considered myself a mushroom connoisseur, if I'm honest with you, Sally.
I don't know what to say.
Anyways, this is a great shot. Very spooky. I like it. Shall we move on to the next? Well done,
Yeah.
Fred. Great work.
That's like the most British segment
done,
ever.
Fred.
Like,
Well done, Fred. Good work, Fred. Another great shot.
Lovely.
Another great shot.
Horizon shot. As in it's off the horizon.
I got you, and I was with you.
Yeah,
I'm with
good.
you, yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Just want to make that. What atmosphere is this?
A colourful one.
I forgot what orange is.
well, it might be just orange because of the position of the sun.
I was going to say it might be the height of the star.
The best way of like, or you can't really see the atmosphere unless like you're sort of landed,
Yeah.
and it's like roughly like between sunset and sunrise.
Yeah, I was
like it has to be, or sunrise and sunset, should I say? It has to sort of be like daytime, and you have to be like under the atmosphere for you to really get.
I was going to say
idea of
people
it.
are getting these cool shots, so it's like just remember that you can't. If you just land slap bang in the middle of the daytime, you're not going to get it. You have to get towards that Terminator line and be like,
if you want that sort of like changing colour on the horizon.
Yeah.
But if you want like a flat sky of like one colour, then you've got to go and look for like midday-ish sort of thing.
So I know that pink is high oxygen.
Oh, high oxygen
I
content.
studied that.
High oxygen content.
That surprises me, Sally.
So just
Give you
so you
pink.
know, yeah, I just thought I'd say that
Those-
that's the only fact I've got on atmospheres, but I remembered that one.
They are very nice.
Yeah.
And the high nitrogen will give you like blue,
Is it
very
blue,
much
blue?
like very much like our sky. So if you get like
Of course.
if you get a really high nitrogen content, you'll walk around and you'll feel like you're just like in the Rocky Mountains or something.
Yeah.
It feels very
Yeah.
almost earthy.
Amazing.
And you might even come across some green plants as well.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Cactoid.
So here we go. This is a Guardian site, right? And they've just activated the site itself.
Yeah.
So
Love these.
there's been some shooting before this, I'd imagine. it's not just to plop the thing in and go. These are really cool, actually. If you haven't done a Guardian site, we've said this before, Guardian sites, Thargoid bases, if you get a chance to go and have a look around and actually work with some commanders to make these activate, they're something to see. And you obviously get some really cool schematics and stuff to help you engineer your ship.
Once
so it's
again,
worth doing.
Guardian beacons, lost the chat. But
I
love them.
I love those.
They really stand out for me. I remember just how flipping intense they were then when they first came out, and they still come up every now and again as well on social.
The beacons?
Yeah, when
yeah.
people
You don't
find
see
the
them as much,
beacons.
actually. You don't see people
when
going
you
to them as
do
much
see
yet.
them, it's like, oh, come on.
See, the game is so big
Yeah.
that you can literally just forget about stuff that's in it, and then you get reminded, you're like, oh yeah, that's there, and then it pops up every so often.
Yeah.
It's like there'll be an installation or a megaship or something that you've not visited in months,
Yeah.
and it'll pop up. You're like, oh yeah, I love that, and then you just go back.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Oh, I like that one.
Oh my
This is really cool.
golly.
So that could be straight out of Blade Runner. If you looked at that, that could be straight out of Blade Runner. That's
Yeah.
a really cool shot.
Yeah.
I love that.
Kind of has the flavour of what's going on right now as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Really cool shot there, Commander Kraylone.
Another one who I feel has very notable styles. Kraylone's very sort of not grungy, I want to say, but you know, it's got that kind of
Gritty sort of, like, yeah.
vibe to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not doing so well. That is that Planetary Port, Starport, Planetary
It's a
Port.
Planet Port.
Yeah, Planet Port. It's not doing so well there. Who knows? Maybe they defended it. Maybe they didn't. Right. Moving on.
Maybe they didn't. No. Inquisitive little guy. Or girl. Thargoids.
There we
Wow.
go. This is a Thargoid just doing Thargoid things, just
can-
peacefully.
Just make out the SRV at the bottom there. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
I just,
Like
I
that
don't know,
big
like.
glowing orifice.
You're looking up at it. I see. Yeah, and it's looking
It's almost
down
like
at
it's
you.
in the spotlight about to do a talent show. It's like, this is your moment, SRV.
yeah.
Start singing. No, the spotlight's on you. If you get it wrong, you're going to get eaten by a giant Thargoid.
Spotlight Sonia.
Oh, yeah, look, if you look.
Oh! I thought you said Spotlight Sonia. Like,
No,
They
sorry.
record-
Spotlight is on you. The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
I was like, who is that?
It's alright, I've
who
got you,
is-
mate. It's
Oh,
fine.
thanks.
I
Who
heard
is
you.
Spotlight Sonia?
I dunno.
Is it a commander name?
Yeah, maybe
I
not.
hope there is a
Question
Spotlight
is,
Sonia.
if Thargoid was overhead and you had one song to sing to save your life, what would it
What
be?
would it be?
What would it be? Oh, good. Yeah, chat, one for chat. What would it be, chat? I don't know.
Mine would be Nutbush City Limits by Tina Turner.
That's a strong song to go in for. Like, you've just gone straight in for a bit of
yeah,
Tina.
no, I absolutely would. I'd
Well, I
screw
mean,
it
like
out.
if you'd either wow them
Yeah.
or
Scare 'em to
assuming
death.
assuming Thargoids can hear things,
Yeah.
you just completely blow their
I want to
minds.
go full aggression, and Tina's the way.
I don't know. What about you? What would yours be, Darren?
It'd probably be my favourite karaoke song, which
Oh.
is "Fly Me to the Moon" by Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
That's a karaoke favourite of mine.
See, I'll be careful because they might take that as you asking them, and then they might be like, "Okay, just get aboard," and you're like, change my mind." I'd probably say
Like like I just become a prisoner. It's like it's like every hour on the hour I have to sing.
yeah, sing it again. Do it again. Do it again. Yeah, I'd probably say something really distasteful, so they wouldn't want to take me. So I'd probably sing something like E17. Yeah.
But
Nah. I would definitely do something like that, and then they would never want to take me.
17. Not UB40.
No, not UB40. I don't mind red wine. That's all right.
I'm just watching some of the suggestions here. Way up there, somebody said "Boom Boom Boom" by the Venga Boys.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Well, that was that. I made that funny video, which I think I might see. I might see if I I might see if we can put that on. But yeah, I took like the intro video for update 14, and I put the music to the Venga to Boom Boom Boom. Was it this Boom Boom? No, We Like to Party by the Venga Boys. I put that music to the background of like the maelstrom flying around the planet and stuff. And it's amazing.
It's very funny.
I sent it around the team, and it was really good fun. And it was fantastic.
It is funny because he also simulates the sound dipping, but as it
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
behind.
I dip it as it goes past, and then it comes back up, and
it's great. It's great.
We had a good cackle about that for at least a half hour. It was amazing.
I don't want to set the world on fire. A great one.
Thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck. Hit Me With Your Best Shot I saw was in there. Again, I probably wouldn't recommend
Oh, yeah, that's tempting
Probably
fate
wouldn't
there.
recommend that. How about Firestarter? Yeah, I mean, that could work.
I loved that song as a kid.
Yeah. All right, do we have one more?
Yes. 2 more.
2 more.
Ooh.
Wow.
Love it.
That's a great shot as well.
Yeah, it is. I love these. I love again. Always going. If there's a depth of field, example of excellent use of depth of field.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah.
Detail captured here as well is awesome.
Whenever I
name
look at
it?
these, that's the
Is it
Pro.
Braintree? Oh, so it's of course.
What do you think it was?
Also, it's Braintree.
Oh, no, it's a Pro, right?
It's a Starboard Pro.
It is. It's just a bit.
Doesn't it trigger that like perfect amount of like trypophobia for you? Right.
Oh, I suppose actually, if people
Not a
are
fan.
Not a fan.
Not
of
a
that.
fan.
I'm alright. I'm alright with it.
With Brain?
But I can.
I'm not alright with Brain.
With
It
Brain?
makes me actually makes me queasy. If I see it in any like films and stuff, I'm out.
Not a brain.
Braintree, I'm fine, weird-ish, but
I
actual.
love Braintree.
Trypophobia is like the fear of like
Holes.
circles and holes, like
Oh, really? Is that what it
circle
is?
patterns. Yeah.
Oh right.
So
Okay.
like the like lotus seeds and stuff like that,
Oh no, I'm okay with that.
or lotus roots. Sorry, yeah.
I'm alright. I'll do.
It's fine.
Don't mind them.
I don't often see Brain on a day-to-day basis, so I'm okay.
I bloody hope so.
It's a really cool shot though.
Then.
Oh wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
I like any time you get double rings. Like whenever
Yeah.
when you've got rings in like 2 perspectives, it's quite cool.
This is so cool. And there's no ship in this, is there? Or is there an SLB?
Oh, do you know
What's
what?
that
You
right at the
just
bottom?
Took that thought away.
Oh no, I'm looking.
What are you looking at?
I thought it was part of the picture. It's actually the word that says Dell on the monitor. So it's not the top of the SRV. It's probably time for new lenses, chat.
Wow.
Dell.
Well, I thought it was it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, there we go. So it's a giant crater, all the rings, star rise.
Oh wow. So
I know.
It's right. It's
I know.
sunset
I
all
wonder
times
if they're
today,
on the satellite or the body being orbited. That's
Oh.
always one. And you never really know from the
No.
pictures.
No, that's true.
Scale goes out the window.
It
doesn't
does.
It?
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
Specsavers. Yeah, I know.
Everything's big and space. Space is big.
And not one crate in that.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, I said 2, Venice. It was somebody else in chat
And
that
there
said
were-
0.
there
There
were
was
Some people
not
said
a
some people
single-
said 0.
They did
I
say
did see a
zero.
Someone did say
bunch of
0.
zeros.
So you have won
Congratulations
just my love and appreciation, really,
Something like that.
for winning that 0 crate.
There also weren't any chieftains though.
There's never any chieftains, sadly. There's never any chieftains. I was really happy to see the paint jobs that came out recently, and everyone's like, I really like these on Chieftain, reminds me of D-Day, and I was like, yeah, Chieftain. And that was it. And no one else gave me more love to the Chieftain. They should do, because it's the best chieftain in the game. I'm not bitter at all. Right, okay, so we've got...
Sally- that's Sally signing
me
out.
Done
It's
now.
done.
Right, that's it. End of day. No, good.
So we should recap, I guess.
Yeah, why not? Let's
We've
go.
gone through some of the news in game and out of the game. So essentially, some TLDR stuff for the Galaxy as it stands. The players have just completed a task that allows them to have a larger weapons platform.
Increased, yes.
For AX weaponry, which is great. The war is ongoing, but isn't going quite as well as we'd have hoped, really, for humanity. It's not quite panning out.
I mean, it's going exactly how I hoped.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's certainly challenging for a lot of places. So we have an interim patch that's coming out on Monday with details to follow. Sally, do you want to talk a little bit about that patch, just as a TLDR?
Right. So we obviously went through some of there's not just issues to fix, there are features coming, little ones, but not little ones. We say little ones, they're not little at all.
No, there's a lot in this. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Darren, thank you for sharing some of the details on what's going to be coming. If you missed it, there will be the VOD available, but it is well worth a listen because there's plenty that you took us through. As soon as the information comes out as to what time that will be dropping, all the expectations around that update, we will get that to you. And that's coming Monday.
That's coming Monday.
Yeah.
And then we've been joined by the wonderful Darren. So Darren's here. We've talked a little bit about Thargoid War, the push and pull, the little adjustments we've made. Some of the things to look forward to that are coming in this update, and a few little tweaks we're still looking at towards update 15.
Some hints and teasers.
Some little teasers. We also saw some wonderful community stuff. We had a wonderful video from Commander Exorcist. We saw the 40+ commanders in a canyon from the Burr Pit.
Canyon run,
I'm missing one here. Oh, we saw the Highwake, the wonderful images from the Highwake.
Yeah.
But before we move any further, obviously it's nice that producer Adam is back and well.
Yeah.
We'd like to play this game now. Can anyone see producer Adam in our bar? He's there somewhere.
here.
Can anyone
Yeah.
tell us where producer Adam is? You can see him. Vagabond Soul says they can see you.
I'm not in the way, am I?
Some on the right.
Oh, I see.
My right?
I know.
My right's this way, or you mean my left? In the window on the right, red sweater, someone's saying. Right side staring through the window. Are you staring through the window? I'm getting a nod. Do you want to stand up for us, Adam, to give us a... There he is. Hey! There's Adam. There's Adam. There's Adam in the background. Yeah, the creeper. I didn't realise you were staring in. I couldn't see it. Like, you were just staring through. Obviously, Adam has had
Give us a wave.
The dreaded. He hasn't set up his bindings, has he? Because he's amateur level over there.
No.
So he's behind the window, just staring in like he always is. But there he is. He watches. He always watches. All right. So yes, you should also have your Twitch drops by now. Anyone's been watching this for any more than 50, for up to 15 minutes, we'll have some wonderful Twitch drops. Also remember that once we leave here, we'll be raiding someone. So stay tuned. We will be raiding someone. And obviously check out our content creators page because they will also have some Twitch drops that you can earn simply by watching their streams.
And we'll have some brand new Twitch drops from partners as of February, which is very soon.
It's very soon, yeah.
So at some point, keep an eye on Discovery Scanner. We'll share any new rewards, paint jobs, all that business.
Yes, and please keep sharing with us as you have been all your war efforts, your cool shots, screenshots, videos, all that sort of stuff. Love seeing it. It's inspirational, I think, to the development team as well. We all love sitting here watching it. Please don't think we don't, because we do. We pass a lot of stuff behind channels and look at this video. Have you seen the screenshots? So keep doing what you're doing. That's it. Darren, thank you very much for joining us again.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you.
This was good fun.
Soon,
I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Wheel him out.
Adam, thank you so much for coming back and as always doing an amazing job. Everyone in chat, thank you so much for joining us. Sally, thanks for having me on.
We're together.
I know, but you know, I know.
Together.
It's been great. It's been great to be back, and I look forward to the next stream with you all. So from us here in the studio, Big 07, Happy New Year, and we'll see you very, very soon.